Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, LaSalle Anungu.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Sal in the building. Another day of trading has wrapped up. We are here to discuss today's moves, and I mean, I gotta give it to you, ladies and gentlemen. I thought, almost 3 days off. Well, 3 days off. That we'd see a lot more action, and man, this market put me to sleep today. This market really put me to sleep today. I saw the what news do we have today? I know we had a merger here that was pretty big. Can't remember the name of the business. Let me look at that. What was the name of that merger? Rite Aid. Yeah, Rite Aid merged today with Albertsons, and then the stock is up 2%. I mean, what a joke, man! It was a joke of a market today. I don't know where the volume was, but it wasn't in any stocks today. The usual few moves here and there. Nothing overly surprising to me. So today was quite a boring day. The one thing about having a show is that, typically you'll have anywhere between 5 to 6 issues where they're just, something crazy would happen, but nothing today at all. Nothing today at all. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. So I'm going to count on you guys to bring the content today, or it's going to be a short show because I got some things to work on. Shout out to the people again in the chat room. Bill Betts, Gucci, Norman Powell, Bat Scientist, SC Trucker, and Bullard. Ken, what's going on? I see your call, Ken. Let me get to you. Chris, what's going on, Chris McKinney? Gucci.
It's Ken. How's it going?
Ken, what's going on, man?
How are you? How's it going? I didn't think it was so boring today. I mean, look at this morning, ANDI. You had spoken about my pick from a couple of days, ANDI, and it started turning down. I got the hell out of it, went right into the BYOC, and more with the FUSC, and what a day.
Yeah, it looks like ANDI double top. I mean, some people might not consider that really a valley, but I think it's long enough, and I think here this now we look to see if it tests the 1 cent support that was created back during that hammer on February 6th. And if it does, in fact, fall through that, then it may not be very good for ANDI.
That's right. So, I got really went in big with the BYOC, and I have a decent position in FUSZ as well, and those stocks were strong again today.
Okay. BYOC, I mean, what's the story? I know I continue to ask that about BYOC because we're not getting any any new news. So it's still running, but there's nothing.
I know, true.
Since January 17th, there's nothing. It's been over a month, but it's still running.
Right. You have Bosted Capital behind that company. That's pretty big, and there's supposed to be some other acquisition they're going to announce soon. And I mean, I guess you have that group on, like I mentioned, on Twitter and iHub. You have that Sunnyland guy, and you have that what's that other guy's name? Silky. That guy has some pretty amazing picks, and he's been just pumping the crap out of the BYOC, saying that you don't know what's coming out, blah 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 blah. But the guy's been accurate with other picks besides BYOC. So yeah, I just following the momentum here.
All right, we'll keep watching it. Certainly.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wanted to ask you, we're just changing the subject, natural gas, UNG, UGAZ. You think we're going to have a move here?
Well, I mean, we're at some lows right now, and I mean, I tell me about it, because there are some stocks, including CHK, jumps in my head, that could really use a move from these lows in the price of natural gas. And natural gas, right. I'm not sure. I mean, at this time of the year, what's the incentive to move it forward? Would it be obviously supply? Has that been an issue?
Yeah, that's a good point. I follow the weather very closely, and we're going into this crazy stratospheric warming over the North Pole and block, and tremendous cold is coming into Europe over the next week or so, and wild weather here in the East Coast the first 10 days of March. So you got those two catalysts that I think can help.
Okay.
You know, I know. I mean, we'll see. It can move quick. We'll see.
Obviously, yeah, that would help. I mean, when we talk about these commodities like oil, crude, and natural gas, you know, any kind of news about limited supply during a time of excessive need, that does wonders for these ETFs and stocks that have to do with it. So if we get some kind of news like that, then yeah, we'll see the run. But obviously, you know, if you want to go long and you've got some patience, this is probably the time to jump in, right? I mean, when you have it at these multiple month lows, it looks like it's been a solid, ETF to trade at these levels. But again, we don't know what the future holds for it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hey, you see Pred today, PRED? Boy, that really got, they had news out on PRED. Good news, didn't matter. Stock went down. I think there's dilution going on there.
I'm so happy. I feel so. I pat myself on the back for telling everybody to sell at 380. Everybody thought I was losing my mind. I said, hey, this could go higher. This could go higher. No, I said, hey, you know what? Just let's go ahead and dump it now. And I got some bad emails. I mean, I got some emails from people who were like, what are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And, even when the stock started turning back up, I just said I didn't believe it until it started to retest the high. We even talked about the stock yesterday, and I still, and I don't like it. You know, I don't like PRED until we start come back to 380. So I'm not going to pick that up off the floor. Now, if it comes back to 80, 85 cents, I'd love to see where the paper is in terms of how many shares is out there and what the float is at that time. But then I might give it a second look. But at that, where it is now, I'm not touching that thing.
No, I agree. I've made my money as well. Could you just put up the chart of the FUSZ? Why I like that one is the small float, 43% controlled by insiders, friendly CEO. I mean, looks like it's going to go to $1 like POTN did.
I love this FUSZ chart because it's an art of wonder. I mean, it's really at 75 on the RSI, and it still looks like it's got quite a bit of upside left to it. I'm impressed with the way this has gone. I mean, you got a few days in there where, you got some selling, but for the most part, you still actually have a little bit of space up there. Now it's up there. I mean, a 36% gain. Obviously, today was the day to really play that. Feel sorry for anybody who tries it tomorrow, but you might be able to sneak something out of that tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, very cool. Very good. Well, thanks, Sal. I always enjoy the show.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it, man.
Okay.
All right. Shout out to Ken for the call. What's going on, Dr. Butterfly, DPG? Donzel Essex was the first one in the building. Appreciate all of you in the chat room. Again, let's go to your tickers, guys, because nothing that I talked about yesterday even moved. We talked about my RSI strategy. Shout out to all the people who got the link yesterday. I got quite a few emails. I emailed everybody. I hope you took an hour or two to check out those videos and see that incredibly accurate strategy, simple strategy to trade stocks, ETFs, options. I mean, it's an awesome strategy. I hope you like it and you use it to your advantage. All right. But none of the stocks that I talked about really, made any kind of big moves. CAT, below the 50, but then we saw some interesting, call options come through on Black Box that are showing that the overall, the large money, the rich, are looking at the possibility of the market turning back up. We saw a $5 million trade. Those of you guys who follow me on Twitter, go look at that. There was a $5 million trade, out the money trade on the QQQ for 172. 172, and I think we're in the 150s right now on the Qs. I'll check that in a second. We're actually at 165, 165.50. So as this show is titled, they are expecting a regression to the mean. They are expecting a regression to the mean. And Bats, I know you're a scientist, so you know about these statistical probabilities. And coming out of one of my favorite books, when we talk about regression to the mean, by the way, you can check this out. It's on eBay for like $2.99, 101 option trading secrets. But I know the PDF is on Google. I think you can get it for free, but I had to get the real thing. And the regression back to the mean is basically a statistical law that indicates that when the results for a specific period or series of events is extremely good or extremely bad, you can expect the results to move closer to normal or the long-term average. So I figure that since the market, was on a tear all last year, we already know what happened last year, and now we had a few days here of, some selling, and now, going into this week, some really good moves. First day of the week, I figure that there's an expectation, and the law kicks in, that we get back to what we saw in 2017. That we get back to, putting on the 2.5%, 3.5%, 4.5%, sometimes 4.5% days that we saw in some of the exchanges across the board. Yeah? A regression back to the mean. Let's see if that kicks in. Let's see if that kicks in. And again, that option for $5 million, betting on an out-the-money call, 172 QQQ. All right, so he's betting for a breakout, basically. That's kind of where we started selling off at. Well, just below it, 171.26. But he's betting for the breakout by... And he's giving himself a lot of time. So he's playing the breakout and, giving himself a lot of time afterwards. That was the May 18th 172 call. That's going for $306 right now. So a $300 call per contract. So playing the breakout here, which could happen any day now. And then again, giving himself quite a bit of time to rack up profits if the stock or if the ETF does in fact go in that direction. All right. Excellent. Let's go to your tickers now, because I need some other ideas, because my stocks aren't moving right now. TVIX, the volatility play, 8.5%. Trading volatility is always dangerous. Trading volatility is always kind of dangerous. This one was up. This one was up today. All right, there's the short-term VIX. And obviously this goes up when the market comes down. This goes up when the market comes down. So this was slightly up today. Actually up 8.5%, but it's considered a small move for TVIX as the market was down slightly. All right. Yes, indeed. John Rambo, what's up? You said we was listening to David Goggins on Joe Rogan's podcast. I got to look into it. Who is that David Goggins guy? Why does that name sound familiar? David Goggins. All right. Oh, okay. All right. You're a chief petty officer. Okay. Yeah, Navy guy. Okay. That's why the name sounds a bit familiar. Excellent. Intraday move. Okay. What else you guys are looking at? Walmart. Bo White. Looking at Walmart. Let's take a look at it. Walmart. Damn. What happened to Walmart today? Not a stock I follow every day. I can't lie. I hate Walmart. I'm a bit biased against the Waltons. You know, I've read some things on the Waltons. These people are evil, man. They're some of the most evil people. I read one time this article, and you got to remember, these people are billionaires, right? I mean, times, you know, maybe 4 or 5 times. I think what are the Waltons worth? At least 10 billion, right? I think at least 10. That one year in, like, it's actually been a couple years, in the mid-90s to late 90s, that each of the kids had given less than $1,000 in charitable contributions. I mean, these are people, these are people with, you know, millions, billions of dollars. Probably, I have no doubt, a couple billion liquid, and they're giving less than $1,000 to charity. You know, and from their own accounts. Obviously, you know, I know the company, Walmart, does charitable donations to communities nationwide, but they themselves do not contribute to charity. And they're known as very, very stingy people. Crazy shit. Bat, you said they're worth at least 20 to 30 billion. I'm not surprised. Bill Betts, Walmart earnings was today. Was the earnings bad? Walmart's slowing e-commerce growth shows how formidable Amazon is. Okay. Yeah, not a stock that I follow. I don't remember anyone, and I don't remember bringing up Walmart earnings. If you guys remember, a couple months ago, they had the Jet.com acquisition, which is basically the foundation of their you know, e-strategy. Going into the 2000s, mid-2000s or so, Walmart basically had no e-commerce strategy. If you remember, they had a couple things online, but for the most part, you know, Walmart saw themselves as a place where you went into the physical store to buy, and that's how they made their money. With the Jet.com acquisition, which I think was almost 2 years ago now, you know, that's where things started to really kind of turn around for Walmart, that people said, okay, maybe Walmart has a chance. Maybe Walmart actually has a chance to compete with Amazon. Obviously, with today's news, you know, something missed, and something missed big. I mean, for a company like Amazon or like Walmart to lose 10% of its value in one day, something missed big.
You lose.
So I don't know if it was revenues. I don't know if it was, you know, net profit. I don't know what it was, but something missed, and missed big. Yes, you know, I call Amazon the Death Star. That's exactly what it is. Amazon is a Death Star. They are the Death Star. If you go in the way of Amazon, you will be destroyed. All right. Let's go to the 60-minute because I'm curious to see what it looks like on the hourly, how that played out. Here's the morning. All right, so you sold into the morning after, of course, the pre-market number. Had guys running for their lives. And as you can see here, a little bit of hesitation midday from 10:30 to 12:30. And then, of course, the continuation of the selling. Now here on the hourly, showing greatly oversold. Still a little bit of room to the bottom. But we're going to be interesting to see what Walmart does here. I'm curious. Do you pick this up off the floor at these prices? I see continued selling, though. I wouldn't jump in with a call just yet. 251, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, Sal, what's going on, man?
Appreciate you, Anthony. Thanks for the call, man.
Hey, I went back. I told them I'm learning about options and, you know, puts and calls. And I went and looked at your video from last week. There was great videos. They really helped me. And I was looking at those today. Matter of fact, I haven't been too long. Just got finished watching the part 2
of
the option. The question I got, do you think you're gonna make any more I know you covered just about everything in those two, and I was just trying to see if you was gonna make any more, or was that it for us? How to go into buying, options, in the options.
So I'm guessing you watched both sets of those videos, all of them?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I that's all he's got on the website now. Of course, if he puts up more content, I'll leak it to you guys. But for the most part, that's what he's got up there now. And he doesn't have anything else of interest that I think you guys would care to see. Everything else has kind of been already explained within those two sets.
Those two sets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I said, okay. I said, it really ain't that complicated. It's just the idea of making sure you know what you're doing
right
when you go into them, and I think you really laid all of that out real good about being in the money, or just out or whatever, and timeline volatility, and giving yourself a good bit of time.
Absolutely.
When you get into them, because you don't want to get into it and it's finna close like next week, and you trying to get into it this week. But yeah, all of that was real good. That that I looked at, and I got this one ticker.
Okay.
That I want to throw up to you. It's DIGP.
DIGT.
GP.
Okay. DIP. G.
G as in dog. I don't know why I said G as in dog. G as in God. P as in Paul.
All right. OTC stock. DigiPath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Hourly, not the greatest for OTCs. Let's look on a daily. So when I look at... Yeah, go ahead, Anthony. What are you going to say?
A buddy of mine brought that up to me and told me to look at it for him. But the only thing I see about it is the volume. The volume is coming in, but it's not, holding, enough for me to get in. And that's what I was telling him. You got to look at the volume and the consistency, of it. You don't want to just get in and, 1 minute is doing this and the next minute it ain't. It needs to be constant. And like you was talking about, look at your RSI over the 50. It's got to be up there. It's got to be trading a lot of shares within a day. In those days before, people really take notice to it.
Yeah, I mean it's relatively light. I mean, I like the fact that it is an OTC QB stock. It's verified, transfer agent verified. So the paperwork it's solid. Obviously, yeah, they don't have that much interest right now. I do see here they are putting out some news. They had some recent release here, February 12th, on record revenues. So, I mean, I would figure out what the story is. It looks like it's a cannabis industry stock in terms of testing, education, training. So not necessarily a retailer, but I don't know, maybe some kind of consulting, publicly traded consulting kind of company. So, it qualifies for a starter position. I mean, something really small that, if you just want to put your feet in and just to see what happens. But yeah, right now, I mean, you'd be going in kind of early. It looks like there was something that happened here at the beginning of the year that could have been, again, that California legalization run that we had back during the end of December, early January. But since then, I mean, there's been slow accumulation, but again, it has been pretty low on volume. So if you want to go into it, a small position, but, protect yourself and put a stop in, or at least a mental stop to begin with.
Yeah, I really, I mean, it didn't interest me as much as, he was talking about. I was just trying to get him some insight on it. And most of my stocks, man, they're not, I'm like you, they're not doing anything. And I'm waiting for NAK to do something. I guess they're shorting the hell out of it still, because it's like $1.08 So it's weird down, but that's okay. I grab up me some more shares.
Yeah, NAK, man. Oh, that went negative here on the daily. Wow, pretty much back in December the 18th, dropped below the 50 and has been bearish ever since. Would have been a great short for anyone coming in. Again, a cheap stock, going below the 50, now lower, significantly lower now, fighting to stay above $1. That's a very sentimental mark. So we'll see what happens with that.
Well, it dropped was that about 4 weeks ago, about a month ago, it dropped to like 80 something cent?
Yeah.
80, 70 something cent, somewhere in there. That's when I bought some more shares of it. But other than that, it's okay. So that's why I'm looking at learning how to do options and get your expertise on it, and because you know what you're talking about. And like I said, everybody needs to fund your account. They need to drop some dollars in your account.
Thank you so much, Anthony. I appreciate that, bro.
Appreciate it, sir.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Anthony. I appreciate the call, Anthony. Anthony, my caller, enjoying retirement. I don't know if he moved to Virginia yet, but enjoying retirement, and that man's earned it. That man's definitely earned it. But again, going back to your DigiPath trade, a small position if you're really interested in it, but I don't see any reason to run into it now. But I guess this might be the time to go into something like that. But again, a small position. RAD was a nice short. Yeah, I mean, look, what was the high for Rite Aid? What was that high? The high was 230. Oh, so no, there was no meat on that bone at all. You guys saw Rite Aid, incredible volume with the merger news, but the stock did absolutely nothing. Stock did absolutely nothing for merger news that big. 144 million shares traded, and the stock was literally up just 3.5%. What a joke. What a joke. All right. Let's keep going. What else are you guys looking at? Shirley Lewis, looking at Avon still. I remember you brought up AVP yesterday. Avon, another 4% gain today. Again, as I mentioned yesterday, who the hell is buying Avon? I still don't have anybody to answer that question, but solid earnings from a couple days ago has the stock going higher. But as we mentioned, that regression to the mean thing that we just talked about, kind of like when a team starts winning a lot of games. Teams that win a lot of games at the beginning of the season tend to slow down toward the end of the season. AVP been tearing it up for the last almost week. In another week or two, is it going to be doing this? Statistical law says no. But if you're already in the stock, by all means, enjoy the gains that you got. But please be looking to take profits here. Now, you're probably wondering what's the upside on that. Obviously, read the news, read that earnings report, because when you look at now the weekly chart, there will be a pullback. There will be a pullback a day or two. It could be as soon as tomorrow or later on in the week. But the weekly chart looks very healthy. I think if you pull up the weekly, it looks very, very healthy, and I think you would agree with me on that. So if there was a significant fundamental change to the underlying business that was announced in that earnings report, meaning, I don't know, like each rep is, double-digit gains on sales or some crap like that, that's huge. That's huge. But as you can see here, coming off those lows, looking very healthy on the weekly. Looking very good on the weekly. AVP, Avon. Shout out to them. All right. Jeff Thayer, what's up, Jeff? AURX pulled out 50% of the 79% pop, left early. Okay. Real quick, AURX. I want to see what he's talking about. All right, so kind of one of those moves out of nowhere. Kind of those moves out of nowhere. Had to have your alert set up. AURX, 79% move, only a very light volume. I definitely wouldn't have picked up on my scanner. I'm not looking at anything less than 1 million intraday. But nice move on that AURX for guys who got in on that one. Let's keep it going. GGOGO. GoGo Incorporated. GoGo Incorporated. Here's another one that's running into earnings. When is that? It's expected on the 22nd. Expected on the 22nd. And here you have strong buying going into that number. So here we have GOGO now at 1048. Not the cheapest stock in the world, right? Almost $1 billion market cap. Company's losing cash, though. Company is losing cash. So this number is going to mean a lot. Looking at prior number releases, they haven't been doing so hot. The last one, anyway, wasn't so good. GOGO, again, buying going into earnings. We'll see what happens. Let me know again when that's out. Brendan Smith, you're going to have to ask Bad Scientist that. He's asking, will AKS reach its yearly high? Obviously, if Trump sides with tariffs, I have no doubt that will happen. Fisher, yeah, okay. I don't think I have this account modded. You said you just saw an Avon sales rep at a store. Was delivering to a few weeks ago, selling and pitching items. Okay, I didn't know that they're allowed to go into retail places to sell, because a lot of stores have no soliciting policies. What happened to ANDI double top? What's going on? Fuck you. Double top is what happened to ANDI. Ticker symbol X. Very similar to what's going on with AKS. And again, you got me in kind of late. It's a couple of days ago. I don't like buying high RSI plays just because, look, you can get another day or two, but that's pretty much the max. You can fully expect the stock to eventually sell off at those higher levels. But look, stocks can travel quite a bit, and this is a perfect example of that. In fact, if you pull up Amazon or the SPY, you can get to these higher RSI levels and maintain bullish momentum. All right, but I don't like going in on those. X and AKS, the catalyst is strong enough to say, why not, though? Because that's a big move, incoming if, again, Trump sides with the tariffs. If he does agree to put some tariffs on the importation of steel from China and other nations, that's going to be a huge move over the next couple of weeks for X and AKS. They're going to be big beneficiaries. Let's keep it going. AKS and X are on my list. Make me break my rules. Steinmart, the local Steinmart, when I was living in Greensboro, North Carolina, ended up closing. So Steinmart is the fabric company, right? They sell like fabric, typically for, a demographic who likes to sew and create their own kind of things. Struggling business, very struggling business. This company's been losing for quite a while. In fact, let's put the 200 on there and see how bad this has been losing. And as you can see here, below the 200, almost back in September. Boy, what a beautiful short. Look at this. I mean, you got a couple squeezes, but for the most part, if you got in at the break, boy, what a beautiful trade. SMRT. don't believe the options are liquid, but again, solid trade. And as you can see here on the hourly, ooh, what's going on here on an hourly basis? Steinmark showing some kind of life here, but as you saw on the daily, losing pretty bad. And you see when it does cross the 50, you know, from an aggressive selling point, you know, when it does cross the 50, it does look pretty good. See, when you get the 50 cross, you know, from these levels, it actually does look pretty good. And then you fail it again about right here. So that would have been a nice return. But again, be careful when you're trading these sub 200 RSI stocks. Again, coming from lows, you got to understand that your holding time is going to be very short. It's going to be very short. All right. DNF Bobby said Trump will want American steel. At least he'll make all public statements. Yeah, it was very bold of him today to announce to make bump stocks illegal or find a way to ban them. So they're basically making them illegal. So I commend him for that. The fact that they were even legal in America to begin with, that's insane. So going to be getting rid of bump stocks. Not bad. I commend him for that. All right, so let's keep it going. ONTX. Again, another sub 200. This one is a biotech. Had a great day today. Company announced some presentations that are going to take place at the American Chemical Society meeting and expo. They are expecting to present a phase 3 clinical trial product in development. So let's see if that number that they put out there is going to meet what investors are looking for. All right. Ticker is ONTX. That's going to be a very important day. Do your research on that. I can't see here. Don't want to mess up my screen on what day exactly that is, but right here, that news was released today on ONTX. Let's keep it going. HMFUSZ will make millionaires. It's so funny because I'm getting a lot of that news here on what's that, FTOT, something like that I wrote up about. I did a write-up this weekend on advanced equity research on a company. I told you guys I got a guy emailed me today. He said he's going to call up about it. We'll see if he does that. Looking forward to hearing some insight from him, as my insight probably would be seen as pretty biased. FOSL, Fossil. We talked about this last week. Remember, Fossil was up huge on earnings. And as I, mentioned earlier with Avon, I said, who the hell is buying Fossil? I haven't seen a Fossil watch maybe since 1998. I haven't seen anybody wear a Fossil watch in a long time. You remember Fossil watches where they had their time. And I remember like sweatshirts. I remember some Fossil watches and shit like that. But, as you can see here, investors got a little bit, too excited on the move. Paper traded it. Not too many shares were available on Interactive Brokers. I'm sure that's probably changed now. As you might see some profit taking here after these 3 days. You might get a cool off tomorrow, but for the right now, still a lot of meat on this bone for shorts to continue to hold, though, as that probably works its way to at least testing the 200 or maybe even breaking again back below it. A losing stock that had broke above the 200. All right. You said a Walmart 94.50 strike for 260 expiring March 29th. I'll take a look at that call in a bit. WMT 94.50. See, my thing is, I don't think the selling's over, bro. I mean, it's only been a day. It's only been a day, and I haven't gotten to take a look at what exactly they messed up on. But I'm not sure if that's the low. You might see continued selling tomorrow. Again, Walmart is a stock that a lot of guys have in their portfolio. I don't want to say guys, a lot of elderly people have on their portfolio as their retirees or just long-term investors who have seen the company become, what in the 1970s was a couple of dozen stores to now, a price monster. All right, a company that can put you out of business with the flick of a wrist, if they decide to. So you got a lot of people who are long Walmart, over the course of dozens and dozens of years. Are they going to be threatened by what's going on? Are they going to be looking to sell tomorrow? So you gotta be aware of that. You don't want to buy a call too quickly and find yourself sitting on some losses. All right. Let's see, what else are you guys looking at? Let's keep it going. So far, I'm seeing a lot of put opportunities. Obviously, my call opportunities are AKS and X. Again, thank you, Bat Scientist. I got into the Halliburton call. I did get into that Halliburton call to March 3rd. I did get into the Halliburton call. It's sitting pretty on it. Again, yes, a red day, but I love the way it's sitting on the 200. So something is up. I gave myself a lot of time. Sorry, not March 3rd, excuse me. Not March 3rd, I wrote it here on my notes, but not March 3rd. Let me see, let me log in real quick. But not the March 3rd. But, one second. Yeah, I'm on the April 20th, 4250s. All right, April 20th, 4250s. I have 10 contracts. And we'll see what happens. All right, they're only going for $540 a contract right now. And got great volume, good liquidity, basically is what I mean. And we'll see whether or not that's a low that we can bounce off of. So I'm looking forward to that move, Bad Scientist. Not only monthly calls, but they're the safest play. Monthly calls are safe. Obviously, I understand that the weeklies give you incredible return, but I don't know how you guys play the weekly and watching the up and down of the P&L as they sit in your account is incredible. How you can watch a 700 gain literally vanish in less than a minute. So I play the monthly options because, again, if it doesn't go my way in the short term, for example, if this goes against me, a dollar or two, I still got quite a bit of time to decide whether or not I want to hold on and because of that, because I have so much time, I can sell that time value back into the market and not have to sustain such a huge loss. All right, let's keep it going. Absolutely relative. That's why I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing that it's flagging on that 200 like that. Especially at that RSI level here on the daily. All right. Especially at that RSI level. Okay. And here we see here, that wouldn't make a good short then. If you shorted this today, that would make a good short. I mean, you're seeing bullish momentum coming back in the stock as it starts to threaten the 50 moving average on the 60-minute time frame. This is not a good short. It's showing increasing strength. If you're looking to short a stock, you're looking for decreasing strength. So you're looking for, this is the kind of setup you're looking for a short. All right, you're looking at decreasing strength as it goes into bearish momentum. That's where you would short. I'm not shorting from the downside. A stock that's already low. You know, you've missed the move. This is if you're looking for a short, this is where you get in. All right, went bearish. Beautiful short. Look at that return from 55 to 47. That's a solid return. But again, the market is going to end up deciding who's right here. We'll see. We will see. But I'm going long Halliburton. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I want to look over the gentleman who talked about Frontier Communications. I looked at the stock today after he brought it up. I thought it was an interesting play. But again, another stock that I figured, again, with the what I know about the company, I just felt like there's so much better out there. But I was very interesting to see the fact that as we look at the weekly, again, if we paid attention to the weekly, it looked like it could do something. If you remember when we pulled it up yesterday, but today wasn't that wasn't a good day to see the stock sell off almost 5% today. Earnings is in less than a week. That's definitely not the kind of day you want to see going into that. But FTR still, again, rising pretty nicely, or selling off now, but did rise pretty nicely back on the 12th. FTR, pretty bad day.
Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, LaSalle Anungu.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Sal in the building. Another day of trading has wrapped up. We are here to discuss today's moves, and I mean, I gotta give it to you, ladies and gentlemen. I thought, almost 3 days off. Well, 3 days off. That we'd see a lot more action, and man, this market put me to sleep today. This market really put me to sleep today. I saw the what news do we have today? I know we had a merger here that was pretty big. Can't remember the name of the business. Let me look at that. What was the name of that merger? Rite Aid. Yeah, Rite Aid merged today with Albertsons, and then the stock is up 2%. I mean, what a joke, man! It was a joke of a market today. I don't know where the volume was, but it wasn't in any stocks today. The usual few moves here and there. Nothing overly surprising to me. So today was quite a boring day. The one thing about having a show is that, typically you'll have anywhere between 5 to 6 issues where they're just, something crazy would happen, but nothing today at all. Nothing today at all. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. So I'm going to count on you guys to bring the content today, or it's going to be a short show because I got some things to work on. Shout out to the people again in the chat room. Bill Betts, Gucci, Norman Powell, Bat Scientist, SC Trucker, and Bullard. Ken, what's going on? I see your call, Ken. Let me get to you. Chris, what's going on, Chris McKinney? Gucci.
It's Ken. How's it going?
Ken, what's going on, man?
Oh, how are you? How's it going? I didn't think it was so boring today. I mean, look at this morning, ANDI. You had spoken about my pick from a couple of days, ANDI, and it started turning down. I got the hell out of it, went right into the BYOC, and more with the FUSC, and what a day. Yeah,
it looks like ANDI double top. I mean, some people might not consider that really a valley, but, and again, if inside paper holders and management are willing to hold on to the stock, it can do a pred, it can do a PRED where it goes up 300-400% over the course of a week and a half or more. Something like this. Obviously the float's a little bit larger. On my write-up, I remember writing 51 million shares trading. Again, a majority of that float is kind of locked. So I think, to be honest with you, you may have less than 15 to 20 actual available shares, of that. Maybe even less. PRED is dead? Possibly. Let's keep it going. FTX or FTK, Flowtech Industries. Don't know anything about the company. I love the way this is turning around here, though. Let's look at the weekly and see if it's verified on a longer time frame. Yeah, see, even on the weekly, we're at these lows. We're at these lows here on the weekly and starting to kind of build a trend that's showing on the daily, but hasn't exactly expressed itself on the weekly just yet. All right. Like that candlestick from last week, so we're building one from today's move. Again, only 1% today, so we're just getting started. And again, let's get back to the daily. So, what could be, we'll see. As you can see, it's a very nice move when you're coming out of that going again across the 50. That's my buy signal. I prefer it to be on the hourly. By the time you see it on the daily, it's too late. All right. By the time you see it on the daily, it's kind of too late. It looks like the move happened back there on the 14th. Had the line, get it crossed. All right. That would have been a 59-cent gain. Got some fakes, too. So just be careful. You know what the number is. Give me a call if you got some other news that I'm not seeing here. 703, you're on the air. What's up?
What's up, Sal? Fisher. How are you?
Oh, doing good. What's up, man?
Hey, thank you for making me an admin, and I'll send you guys the link.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The link will give you 369 available indexes and stocks that start off their options as pennies, like Triple Q, DIA, SPY, even like the Yum, the Yum Group. Yum brands. But yeah, so that will help people like we can do penny stocks, but we can do it with options. And I like options a little bit more than OTC or penny stocks because with options I have the security of the bigger brand with the bigger market cap.
Okay.
And you are right. With the larger caps, it's better to do monthly expirations than with the indexes. I think, like with the SPY or the DIA.
True.
Yeah.
Now, what stocks are you looking? Now, what stocks are you trading right now in options?
Tesla.
Okay. And Tesla, are you looking to go long, short on Tesla right now?
Long.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've already put my feelings out there on Tesla.
Yeah,
Looking to go long on Tesla. Yeah, again, this is another stock that, it's just kind of been funneling between that 300 and 360. Obviously, there's been money to be made on those lows if you caught it at that moment. Now on its way, looking to possibly go back and retest those highs. Kind of really indecisive here, but Tesla, nice play.
And Apple, Alibaba, like the known. I usually like do the known ones.
Yeah.
Like if there are a lot of news on them, I usually check the options to find them if I can get them cheap.
Yeah, I'm still holding an Apple trade. I thought about closing it today, but I mean the barely $1 off, just 50-cent loss today. I figured let's go one more day and see what happens tomorrow. See where the market decides to go.
Yep. Roku's about to have their earnings coming up soon.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Roku. Roku's kind of one of those ones that it would be honestly a revenge trade for me to do it. So I'm not looking to make any, pre-earnings bets on Roku. Whatever the number is, I'll play that side because, if they beat, then, the longs get the squeeze of death because the float is ridiculously short. In fact, I don't think there are any shares really, available to short on it. So what happens is really the put buyers just get, destroyed as this low float stock starts to run and starts to retest those high 50s, 60s up there. So we're seeing the stock run into earnings. As a huge move is going to be expected as soon as is the number coming tomorrow morning? Let me see here.
Pre-market.
Is it tomorrow morning on Roku already? Let's go.
Just go to the NASDAQ.
No, okay, it's tomorrow afternoon. It's tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
So it's tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, you got tomorrow to decide where you want to play this. Obviously, your best bet is a in the money spread, and see what happens. Obviously, whatever side wins, on the open, you close the losing side and allow, your gains from the win to continue to go high. So that's you can play it that way. You can play it that way on Roku.
Cool. Now, if people do want to learn better about options, there's 2, maybe 3 YouTube channels that are fantastic. And you said one, the Tasty Trade. That's great. The other one would be like Option Alpha, because he do a lot of podcasts, maybe 210 episodes now. Yeah. But he does on YouTube too. And the other ones I like that they do a market prep video would be Right Way Options. Have you heard of them?
I haven't heard of them, no.
They're really nice because they do like a naked chart. They only do price action. If they don't see the right price action or the right trends, they don't get in. And they don't care about the moving averages.
Okay. Well, there it is, man. I appreciate you so much.
The question I want to ask you.
Yeah, go ahead, Fisher.
If you don't mind. What do you think is better, to put or to short?
Oh, of course, puts, man. I'm always going to be, when it comes to shorting, if even if you have cash, it makes more sense to go with options than it does to go, with shorting pure cash, just because, you are only losing what you bet. So
Initial investment.
right, your initial investment. So it just works better for you to buy puts, and your return on investment is a lot better, right? I mean, we talked about that a little bit yesterday. How when you short with stock, a 10%, 12%, 15% move, that can happen, but it's not typical. Typically, when you're shorting with straight stock, you're looking for 7%, 8%. Over
like
the course
Walmart
of,
right now.
right, over a course of a day or two, or maybe a day. And again, that depends on the quality of the stock. Obviously, if you're talking about OTCs, you'll get a bigger bang, but again, more risk. So, puts are based, by far the way to go, because again, you get a better return on your investment. All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much,
Thank
Fisher.
you. All right. Bye.
Yes, indeed. Let's get back to it. Get the energy back up in here. LDSR OTC market advance. So yeah, that was one of the biggest ones on that exchange today. That was one of the bigger ones on the exchange today. We brought this up yesterday. It's being promoted somewhere, and I don't think Ken is in the building. He tends to go to sleep pretty early, but let me see if in my email address I got a pump and dump email on it. LDSR. And let's see here. I did get a hit. Where is it at? LDSR. No, that's just a news release from January. Yeah, but no pump emails. I don't have a single pump email on LDSR. And I'm practically signed up to damn near every promoter out there. But no news on LDSR that I have anyway. Let me know why the stock is up from 0009 now at 0081. And I want to do this return just because, this is not, results are not typical, okay? These results are not typical when we talk about OTC penny stocks. But I do love to do this because it's fun to dream and to think that you could have caught this. All right, so this stock started really moving toward the end of January. Let's give it a 0007 low. All right, 0007 low, and now you are at a high of 0081. All right, and let's just say you invested $1,000. All right, you invested $1,000 at 0007. And now you're looking at a position of cost or a price of 0081. And your $1,000 is gained over 1,057%. And somebody check if this math is right. $1,000, I think this is right. $1,000 times 1,057%. That's 10,000, right? Yeah, that's 10,000. So your 1,000's turned into 10,000. It's turned into 10,000. $10,571. That's a pretty good return for less than 60 days, right? That's a pretty good return for less than 60 days. That's a good return for less than 60 days. It could be a boiler room, dude. It could be a boiler room. You guys got to remember, I've told you guys about my story that when I went to New York, I ended up working at a boiler room called John Thomas Financial. And I've told you guys the stories about the old black man they had in the bathroom who had to smell everybody's shit and stuff. Yeah, I got a video on that on my channel too, John Thomas Financial. You can Google them and see what happened to him. We ended up getting shut down. We got raided by the FBI and then shut down. But by then, I'd gotten the hell up out of there. I had already left. Right? Shaquille said, who's a good promoter? Everybody can, mostly everybody in the business is good. It just depends on the underlying stock, what the float is, and, how much the company's willing to put up for advertising. Because sometimes you got a good ticker, but the company don't want to give you enough to buy ads. So it becomes a disappointment. All right. Yeah. Let's keep it going. Yeah, like the Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, exactly like that. Exactly like that. And there are quite a few still around. I mean, they're a lot rarer than they were. But there's still boiler rooms out here. You just got to do your research. Check Craigslist. You'll see them a lot on Craigslist. Now they'll post under like Forex. Hey, we'll teach you how to trade Forex, but you go up there and it's like, hey, we actually need somebody in stocks, because they don't actually want to say we need somebody to, So there's still those companies out there, but you got to understand they're slimy operations. So they attract, guys who are down and out or just desperate for a way in. And that was kind of my situation. I saw an ad on Craigslist and I responded. OBOR, Crane Share, MCSI, One Bell. I don't know what this is. Road ETF. What does this say? What is this, an infrastructure ETF? I'm not familiar with this exchange traded fund. As you can see, very, very light volume. There are a lot of ETFs out there. ETFs are very popular right now. They're going to get even more popular as guys and people in general just start moving towards passive investing. It's going to become incredibly more popular. Incredibly more popular as it, people love the simplicity. All right. Is this an infrastructure ETF? I mentioned a few last week, if you remember. We haven't heard a peep out of the Trump administration in terms of infrastructure. They came going into the end of the year saying that was going to be a priority, and then we started hearing about welfare food boxes. So I don't know what that's all about, but if you remember, I talked about PAVE, PAVE. That's going to be a really nice one to watch. PAVE, PAVE, if this starts to really take off. Low volume. It's low volume right now, but it'll pick up. Definitely got buyers. And, of course, the other, tickers along with that, with the industry that I posted. I think it's in another journal in that episode. All right? Let's keep it going. Chinese expansion into Middle Asia. China is a huge bubble right now, man. Just type in China and then bubble to learn a little bit more about the Chinese marketplace. I mean, China, they're actually going out of their way to prevent people from buying homes because the market is so damn hot. The Chinese government has put restrictions like, each family can only own 2 houses or something like that, because they're going through a situation of what we went through in the mid-2000s, where you got these low rate mortgages or ninja loans. They're kind of doing that kind of thing right now. They're doing the ninja loans, no income, no assets. That's why a lot of these Chinese are coming to America with that Chinese money, and they're buying up a lot of our real estate. Talk to those guys who are out there in California or Toronto or New York, Canada. These Asians, these Chinese, they're bringing that cheap Chinese money to America, man. And a lot of that they're using to gentrify American citizens out of their homes, man. Seriously. So it's going to be interesting to see when China does cool down, and it will, because that's what markets do, how that affects our real estate market. But if you've been watching, one guy who I like, but I think sometimes he oversells the whole hustle aspect, Gary Vaynerchuk. He talks about how what's going to end up taking down our economy is going to be student loans. All right, the fact that you got a lot of Americans out here with $70,000 in student loans and can still walk in and get a $300,000 mortgage and a $25,000 car. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep it going. What other tickers? We'll wrap it up here shortly. Again, not too much happened today. Not a lot of going on. I want to pull up some of the losers. I'll pull up some losers today. A couple biotechs. That's typically what you'll see. It's typically what you see. MDXG, big loser right now. Looks like somebody announced the investigation of the company. All right, a couple investigations of the company here. All right, let's keep it going. CRMD, Cormedics down 32%. Another big loser today. Huge loser, down almost 7.5 million shares traded today. Big loser. Yeah, we'll check out the SPY in a minute. We saw the VIX up slightly today. We saw that TVIX ETF move up a little bit today. So, yeah, those indices were down slightly today. Again, if we pull up DIA, that we'll see that. Slight, less than 1%, actually 1% to be exact. All right. Here's the 200 moving average. That sell-off from last week, we've recovered somewhat. I titled the name of the show Regression to the Mean because we're hoping that this bounces higher. We're hoping this bounces higher. And then if we look real quick, all right, if I show you guys some expected moves that are taking place here. Let me see if I can make sure I can show this without getting squeezed too much. And we go to what's happening on Black Box Stocks. Again, blackboxtrader.org. And let's take a look at what some of these traders are buying, particularly on those ETFs, and what the moves are. If we look at DIA, for the most part, I'm not seeing, obviously there's pressure to the calls. All right, so it looks like a couple $55,000, $60,000 trades here. This one's tight. Look at that. The guy's giving a 248 right now. We're at 240. Okay, so he's going with an in the money call. He's going with an in the money call at that 248. He actually bought it a little bit higher than where it closed at. But that's the call on DIA. For the most part, looks like the bulls. The sentiment is bullish. We go to the SPY. Interesting. See, on the SPY, we're getting different. And the DIA and SPY is basically the same thing. DIA and SPY is basically the same thing. So SPY showing more bearish put buying there. All right. Here's a $2 million trade, which is a put. Guy's giving himself till the end of the year. So he's giving himself quite a bit of time. He's got the 239 strike. He bought it at 271. So this guy's really looking for a sell-off for the rest of the year. He's looking for a sell-off for the rest of the year, committed $2 million to that. Now, this could be downside protection. This could be possible downside protection. I did show you guys a $5 million bullish trade on my Twitter. So this could very well be a downside protection as someone may be trying to hedge gains that have already been made through the year. all right, through last year, or maybe gains that they expect to make through this year. All right, but that's interesting. That's a very interesting call there. All right, that's a very interesting call. So if anybody, I'm looking in the chat room now, if anybody's got a play they want to look up real quick, let me know, and we can pull it up here on Black Box Stocks while I'm in it. Just go ahead and put your ticker in and let me know. We'll pull that up. What ticker you're looking for. Now that I got that up, let me see what guys are doing with Walmart. Let's see if anyone went in on Walmart today. Here's Walmart. Again, we saw Walmart right now close at 94.35. Closing around 94.35. And right now, sentiment is kind of mixed. I'm seeing some calls. I'm seeing some puts. So I don't really get a decision. I'm looking for $1 million trade. Or I'm looking for a trade over 100,000. I'm not seeing it. So bit indecisive moves there on Walmart. Okay. I'm not seeing the large commitments. All right. I'm not seeing the large commitments. What is this here? All right. This guy's giving himself till June. Walmart. He's going for the 97.50 strike. He bought it at 94.88. He paid $4 for 250 contracts, 259 contracts. And again, this is a call, so he's expecting a recovery. He's expecting a recovery. This is an out-of-the-money call. He bought it at 94.88, so he's expecting a move by June 15th of 2018. So he's basically playing the bounce. He's basically playing the bounce. And he may not even hold it until June. This could be, he could sell this tomorrow. I mean, well, he could, of course, sell it tomorrow, but he could very well sell this next month. And if the stock's recovered, as little as $1 or $2, he could definitely see some significant returns if it, in fact, does start moving higher from where it is now. From where it is now. All right. All right, so a couple tickers we'll do, and then we'll get back to it and wrap up the show. Let's see what they're doing for QQQ. I see some people are saying what is the market doing for the Qs. Let's take a look. Right now, here's the Qs. Again, that's that $5 million trade I posted. Here it is, $5 million. All right, so definitely either a private investor or some kind of institution. It's a sweep trade, meaning there were several orders, but yet the system was able to indicate that it wasn't in one particular order. So one individual, 5 million. They're giving themselves till May 18th. The 172 call, again, it's an out-of-the-money call. That's a very interesting. So, again, out of the money, they're only giving themselves a couple months here, right? They're giving themselves basically 90 days. 90 days to break our recent high on the Qs. Our recent high on the Qs. 172 out of the money call. They bought it at 165.50. They paid $3.06, so about $300 a contract. Just over $300 a contract. And they bought over 17,500 contracts totaling $5 million. So very, very bullish. Again, they've got 90 days to make some money here on that call. This is an out-of-the-money call, too. Yes, and I do know we got a few people in the chat room who hit me up on Twitter, and they say they followed that guy into that play. And that makes a lot of sense, too. I mean, that's a big commitment. That's a very big commitment. Couple puts, all right, couple puts, but as you can see here, compared to the long call, this is a very short term. So this is expiring in 2 weeks. This is expiring basically in 2 weeks. March 9th, these are some puts. So this gentleman expecting within the next day and a half, the Qs to sell off. And they've committed about 90K, 200K on this one, 162.50. All right, this is an in-the-money put. So they bought an in-the-money put as the Qs are trading for higher prices right now. So they're looking at a continued selling or some bearish momentum moving into the Qs. All right. Different people see different things. Different people see different things. All right. Couple more and we'll wrap it up. All right. But I just want to give you guys, those of you guys, for whatever reason, you're not there yet, you can't afford it yet, whatever it is. And by the way, it is so underpriced. This kind of information is so, the fact that they're only doing it for $79, that's so underpriced. So underpriced for what they really should be selling this for. Couple more. Let's go. Somebody said they wanted Snap and what else? Snap and SQ. Let's take a look at a couple more. All right, so let's go to the screen. Let's go Snap real quick. Snap. All right, we've got a few calls, some puts toward the end of the day, but for the most part, it's pretty even-handed. I'm not seeing the size I want. So I'm seeing a few retail trades. Here's a $100,000 trade. Here's a put. April 20th. April 20th put. They're going in the $20 strike. They bought at 1932, so they're basically expecting what could be a double top to happen, because it is at about $19 right now and challenging that recent high from earnings. Again, I bought this pretty early in the morning too. Again, they don't have to hold it to expiration, right? They don't have to hold it to expiration. If they get the move they're looking for in the next couple of days, they'll sell the profit and the time value back. So they don't have to hold it too long. But pretty even-handed. I'm not getting the certainty that you may have seen with a couple other stocks. For example, what you saw in Pandora today. I looked up Pandora today, and we're seeing very bullish action in Pandora. No puts at all. And this has been a couple of days now. This happened today, and it happened Friday. In fact, if you go to my Twitter and you look at what I posted for Pandora on Friday, you saw, again, continued bullish momentum of that 550 call on Pandora. So something is going on here. Something going on here. Again, not the greatest size in the world, right? So a lot of retail. All right. This is at-home traders, the 16K, 15K. This is somebody like you who's, relatively successful in the marketplace, bidding a nice little size on some bullish momentum on Pandora. Again, they're playing very close into earnings here. As you can see here, expiration of this week. That's this week expiration. So somebody expecting a very strong move higher in the next day or two. Somebody expecting a very strong higher on the next day or two. In fact, let me see, when is Pandora earnings? When is Pandora earnings? Because that's very suspicious. Ooh, look at that. It is tomorrow at 4 o'clock. It's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So the word is out, ladies and gentlemen. I see you, whoever you are. The word is out. But look, I saw you. The whole market sees you. All the banks see you. And the word is out over the last 2 days. Very bullish in Pandora. And as you can see there, OTC 3000 is my thing. All right. So one more. Mad Dad, you said you got some puts for 17 cents. That's what's up. Wow, it's got some $17 contracts. That's what's up, man. Yeah, do that. Guys talk about penny stocks. You can do penny option trading as well too. I think the cheapest I've seen, of course, everybody's seen penny options before, but I've seen options that could trade as cheap as 8 cents. 8 cents a contract. That's literally at 8 cents. Yeah, 8 cents a contract, which turns into $8. But yeah, you'll be surprised. Obviously, it requires a big move by the underlying. All right, but you'd be surprised. It does happen. And earnings is typically that time. SQ. Somebody bringing up SQ, which is Square Incorporated. a company that had announced earlier in the year that they were doing something with Bitcoin or allowing people to take Bitcoin payments. That had the stock running pretty hot for a couple weeks. As you can see here, predominantly calls. We got one put. All right. And again, the software is only going to catch unusual, like highly unusual trading volume. So it's not going to catch every single option that got bought. It's going to catch the ones that really matter. The ones that really matter. You know, as you can see here, for the most part, guys are staying, you know, very bullish about it, and they're buying the out the money calls. I mean, the stock closed at 44, basically $45, and they're buying these out the money calls. So they're expecting a big move. Look at this one here, $55 out the money call. So this guy's buying damn near $11 out the money, giving himself a lot of time. He's buying the September 21st, 2018s. All right. He's paying a pretty penny because he's buying a lot of time. So in that $4 is a lot of time value. But obviously, if it does go in his direction, all right, relatively soon, this could very well double or if not triple if you do start seeing a move on SQ in that direction. All right, but it looks like we do have a put. And again, this guy's looking for a downside move relatively soon. March 16th, 2018. He's looking for the $43 put, which is just $1 out the money. He could very well get that. He can very well get that before March 16th. That's actually an interesting call there. Nice play. All right. Look at these guys. SQ. I have a feeling this is another earnings play. Here we have SQ. Bullish calls. Again, out the money calls. Guys expecting that implied volatility to pop and surge on SQ on earnings day. When is SQ earnings? SQ, let's look at it. 1 second. SQ here on Earnings Whispers. February 27th. Oh, that's interesting. So why are they buying an expiration for this week? That's very confusing to me. That's pretty confusing to me because they're buying, earnings is on the 27th, but they're buying an out the money call. So they're expecting like, all right, this is suspicious, but the size doesn't make you want to follow that because that, you know, again, that's very small size. It's very small size, but the trade doesn't make sense. The trade doesn't make sense. All right, the trade does not make sense. All right, going back to the chat room. You guys want to look at X real quick? Let's look at X. I'll show you some X. Let's see X. Again, all right, so it looks like some guys are loading up. Boy, look at that. There's a lot. There's quite a few there. It actually goes lower. I can't scoot because there's so many. Mostly retail at the bottom. Let's stay at the top. Let's stay at the top. Few puts. It's an interesting call here. It's a $2 out the money call. This is again for expiring this week. This is a block trade, so this means that they bought all 54,000 at one time. All right, they bought it at 45.82, so he's expecting some positive momentum as soon as tomorrow on this stock, and he bought it there at noon, 12:39. He's expecting, or she's expecting, very bullish move as soon as tomorrow on that. All right, any unusual? I don't see too many unusual trades. Yeah, I don't see anything unusual. Again, they're seeing it going the other way. There's an $84,000 purchase. April 20th. Going for the $420.42 strike. So $2 out the money to the downside. They're expecting Trump to say no. All right. Obviously, yes, these stocks would sell off if Trump did come back and say, hey, no, I've decided against tariffs. you would see some selling if that were to happen. You would see some selling if that were to happen. Let's go to that sister company. Obviously, they're not connected, but same industry, AKS. Let's look at AKS. AKS, a different story. AKS, a different story. We got one put option, but for the most part, all calls. All calls. And they're giving themselves, they're giving themselves a bit of time, mostly 2 weeks. So we got some 2-week calls. The stock closed at closed at 580. So they're sticking with close to in the money, slightly out the money. Here's a bar out the money call. They're going long with this one. This is a very interesting buy here. It's a retail position. This guy's getting a bit greedy here with the January. He's going with he's going with the leap here. He's going with the leap. He's saying Trump says yes. He's going with the out the money call, $10. He's about almost $4.50 away from the strike. So he's getting a bit greedy here. He's getting a bit greedy. And of course, you got some people who sees, the other side, $5 put, giving themselves a bit of time as well. All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What's going on, Stock God? All right. Yes, indeed. So, one more. What's that? FLR? What is FLR? I can't remember. While I'm in there, one more. FLR? What is that? FLR. Looks like we only got one thing picked up on FLR, one trade. $69,000 trade, 58.50 call. It was an in the money call. Bought it at 58.10, so slightly out the money, about 40 cents. Very close expiration. All right, so again, this could be an earnings situation here. Let's take a look at it. When is FLR earnings? And actually, it took place today. FLR took place today after hours at 4:15. I don't know what the number is. Obviously, I'm not familiar with the company, FLR. But as you can see here, someone had bought at noon, just slightly past noon, the February 23rd, this week expiration, 58.50s. They bought over $69,000 worth of contracts. So hopefully that number was good for them. I don't know where the stock is after hours. I can't see from where I'm at. But obviously, if they're up, they're going to be a very, very excited person tomorrow morning. All right? Let's keep it going. All right. Yes, very cheap options in AKS. It's a cheap stock to begin with, though. All right, let me put it up one more time. Let me put it back up one more time. AA, which is Alcoa. All right, nothing. System didn't pick up any trades today in Alcoa of any interest. So no trades, and sometimes that happens. No trades of interest in Alcoa. Again, this is an algorithm-based trading alert system, and nothing of interest in Alcoa. All right. Microsoft is one of them. I'll do that research later, but let's see here. Intel. Oh, by the way, let me see this guy's Tesla trades. Tesla, okay. All right, a few Tesla trades, but for the most part, all short term. See, that's the thing. A lot of guys, they don't want to go long. They're not going long on Tesla. They're playing that bounce because as we saw on the chart, Tesla's been funneling from about 300 to 360. So they're playing basically the run to the 360 or back or something like that. As you can see here, this is a pretty short one. It's giving himself only a week. 372 strike. Wow, 372.50 call. That's a bit far from where we are. He's almost $50 away. Almost $40 away actually, or more, just over that, just under that, excuse me. All right, so very bullish on that. All right. So let's get back to it. Get back to my trading screen. One second. Oh, God. It always does that. Hold on. There we go. My apologies. All right. So there it is, folks. There it is. Very cheap options again, yeah, in BATS and in BAT Scientist AKS. But again, you can also go with the stock. I mean, the stock is cheap enough where if you like it, you can go straight into the stock on AKS. If you like the story, it's only it's a 581. Obviously, you know, your return on investment is much better with options. The risk is different. The risk is just different. Right? Yeah, it's a Tesla hopeful. Yeah, it's a Tesla hopeful. You know, $45,000 position. You know, I like following the rich. I like following somebody who's got $1 million, $5 million on it. You know, somebody who's got $5 million to put into a trade. That's a very intelligent trader. That's somebody who's been entrusted with, you know, quite a bit of money. You know what I'm saying? So that guy obviously has some knowledge superior to mine. I want to follow him in that trade. That's why I'm suspecting that we're going to see the market get back to its typical bullish momentum. All right. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, that is the show for tonight. That is the show for tonight. Let me go ahead and ring the bell. As always, I thank you for joining me. Great trades to talk about. Of course, visit my sponsors. EquityFeed.com. Get 2 weeks free. No credit card required. Blackboxtrader.org. Look out for that ad that I'm going to post here on YouTube that I'll run some ads from. So look out for that on blackboxtrader.org. If you love the software, take advantage of it. I'm going to start doing a better job of incorporating it into the show because there's some money to be made in options in 2018, whether it be up or down. Missed opportunity to really take advantage of 2017 on the option side, but it's never too late to learn. Never too late to learn. All right. So again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I will see you guys back here same time, same place tomorrow. Fisher G, thank you for the call, man. Shaquille Emmanuel, thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Shaquille. George M, thank you. Mr. Melendez Carter, thank you so much. Oh, ma'am, it's always a woman. That's a woman in that picture. I always get you messed up. All right. Wande Casa, thank you. Juan Diaz, JT the Bullhead Trader. Ramen 444. Cali Rob, thank you, sir. Who else is in here? Cool Cat Beats. Shirley Lewis. Bad Scientist, thank you, man. Andrew Gladness, of course. Lon Bill Carter, thank you. Bill Betts, man. Shout out to Bill Betts. The guy goes hard in the paint, man. Donzel Essex. Dre Holiday. DK Trades. Legendary Eights. Bo White. Armando Rios. And all of you guys watching me on TV, press like on this video if you can. Hit some of those links. Bless me in the chat room. Bless me in the description there. Send a blessing. Yes, indeed. Ghetto Investor. Appreciate you, bro. Andrew, you already know what it is, man. Bad Scientist, Dr. Butterfly, Lord Yase. Skip one. Appreciate all of you. If I didn't get your ticker today, call me tomorrow or join me the same time, same place, right here. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, happy trading. See you tomorrow. Hit them likes. Yes, indeed. I'm out of here.